Hey everyone, did you know that I have the singing voice of an angel? Well, that's a myth. What's also a myth is pretty much everything you thought you knew about history. We're talking about those historical facts that everyone just accepts as gospel truth. From Napoleon's not-so-short stature to Vikings' questionable fashion choices, we'll be diving deep into the annals of history to separate fact from fiction. Get ready to have your mind blown out, or maybe just slightly nudged. So buckle up, grab your detective hats, and let's embark on this hilarious journey of myth-busting. Let's talk about Napoleon, shall we? The Emperor of France, the military genius, the short king. Not so much. The myth that Napoleon was short is actually a result of some lost-in-translation measurements. You see, the French paus, the unit of measurement back then, was slightly larger than the English inch. So while Napoleon's height of 5 feet 2 inches might seem diminutive, he was actually around 5 feet 6 inches in modern measurements. Pretty average for his time. So why the enduring myth? Propaganda played a role, as did some unflattering portraits, but the next time you hear someone crack a joke about Napoleon's height, you can set the record straight, or, just smile knowingly and think about how much fun it is to know a secret. Alright, picture a Viking warrior, got it? Horns on the helmet, right? Wrong. Turns out the image of Vikings sporting horned helmets is about as accurate as a history textbook written by a squirrel. Archaeological evidence suggests that Vikings actually wore much simpler helmets, often made of leather or metal. So, where did the horned helmet myth come from? We can thank the costume designers of 19th century operas for that little embellishment. They thought it looked cool and dramatic and the image stuck, so Vikings, fierce warriors? Absolutely. Fashion icons? Not so much. Time for a space-themed myth. The Great Wall of China is so enormous, so impressive that it's visible from space, right? Well, not quite. While the Great Wall is undeniably impressive, it's not actually visible to the naked eye from space. Astronauts have confirmed this, and science backs it up. So how did this myth gain traction? We can blame it on a certain purveyor of the bizarre and unbelievable, Ripley's Believe It or Not. A Ripley's cartoon from the 1930s depicted the wall as being visible from the moon, and the idea, despite being debunked, just kind of stuck. Blind as a bat is a phrase we've all heard, but it turns out it's about as accurate as a weather forecast from a groundhog. Bats aren't blind at all. In fact, they can see pretty well. They just also happen to have this super cool ability called echolocation, which allows them to navigate and hunt in the dark. They emit high-pitched sounds that bounce off objects, and they use the echoes to create a kind of mental map of their surroundings. So the next time you see a bat flitting through the night, remember, it's not lost and stumbling around in the dark. It's using some seriously advanced sensory equipment. Ah, the goldfish, the poster child for forgetfulness, got the memory of a goldfish, they say. Well, guess what? Goldfish have been seriously slandered. Studies have shown that goldfish actually have a memory span of several months. That's right, months. They can even be trained to recognize their owners, navigate mazes, and perform simple tricks. So the next time you see a goldfish swimming around in its bowl, don't underestimate its little fishy brain. It might just surprise you with its ability to remember, well, at least for more than 3 seconds. So there you have it, a crash course in debunking historical myths. It's amazing how these misconceptions stick around, isn't it? But hey, that's what makes history so interesting. It's full of surprises, twists and turns, and while believing in myths can be fun, knowing the truth is even better. It's like finding out the ending to a really good book. You're satisfied, you've learned something, and you can't wait to tell everyone you know. If you enjoyed this wild ride through the land of historical inaccuracies, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more myth-busting adventures, and let me know in the comments what other historical myths you'd like me to tackle next.